Hey everybody, this is Felicia with The Book is Done. It has been forever since I've been on here. I have been reading books out of control and then got into a reading slump and couldn't do anything. Just recently getting out of the slump, so I wanted to come on real quick to talk about a few books that I did read and finish. The first one being The Crash by Freida McFadden. I actually finished that not too long ago. It took me a minute to kind of get my mind into a book. If it's Freida McFadden or Kirsten Modlin, I'm normally in it. And just here recently, I still have three Freida books that I still need to read. Two are old. Like one is The Surrogate Mother, the other one is Dead Man, and Death Row. It's the short, but that's it. I told a story. I still have to read some of the other ones. The Devil Wears Scrubs, and another one. So technically, I have five. But yeah. So the crash. Um, Tegan. Tegan about stressed me out, but it wasn't so much as Tegan because my heart hurt for Tegan and the situation that she was in. So the story starts off as Tegan. You're introduced to Tegan. I believe she works in a diner, and she's 8 months pregnant. Very, very, very pregnant with her first child. She found out it's a little girl, and she didn't have a name for her yet, but she called her Tuna. She just kept calling her Tuna, kept calling her Tuna. Thank goodness she did not name this child Tuna. But throughout the pregnancy, she kept calling her Tuna. And so there was a situation where, she was saying in the beginning, she was saying that, pretty soon everything is going to be easy street. We'll be taken care of for life. You won't have to worry about anything. Enter in this gentleman and his, I guess you could say his attorney, or his representative or assistant and or attorney in all things. I want to say it was like his assistant, but it was an older gentleman, as to who Tegan had gotten pregnant by. And they were getting ready to have a meeting, and signing paperwork so that he would not have any responsibility towards the child. He would basically pay her off to make sure his name is connected to the baby and that they will be okay, well off for the rest of life. So it's during this meeting where Tegan has like this moment where she was going back to that night, and come to find out she had been assaulted. And this was in it. These are triggers. These, make sure you read the triggers. I'm not going to give it all away, but like I said, this is all in the beginning. Tegan realizes that she was assaulted, by way of date rape by this gentleman, because she was like, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't remember different things. And so she came to that realization and was just like, no, I'm not going to sign this paperwork. I'm going to take you to court. Like, this is what you did to me. Like, I can't even, in my right mind, do what I'm getting ready to do. And so she says, no, I'm not signing nothing. I'll see you in court. The gentleman, he must be like really powerful or whatever, like really well off financially. He's like, okay, sucks for you, but it is what it is. So, around this time, it's the holidays. I want to say it's like Thanksgiving. And it's only Tegan and her brother. And so her brother calls her. Brother has a girlfriend, I believe. And he's about a few hours away from her. And her car is an older car. It's breaking down. It's on a wing and a prayer. A wisp of a wing and a prayer. And she told him that she was going to come, she needs to get away. She hasn't told the brother what's like, he knows that she's pregnant, but she didn't relay the information to him as to how she became pregnant. He was like, I'm concerned, I'm nervous, and she was like, I'll just tell you when I get there, because something like that needs to be told face to face. Cool. So as she's on the way, she picked up an extra shift at the diner that she was working at and knew that a snowstorm was coming in. So because she picked up the extra shift, she got a late start on the road. So naturally, as she's on the road, it starts to snow. Again, cars on a wing and a prayer. So she is driving on the way to her brother's, and it's like rural Maine. And she all of a sudden has a accident, and her brakes really weren't all that good. I think, I can't remember, but I know her car was older and was in need of work. So she skids with the snow. She ends up um, going down a cliff, not a cliff, but like in I can't even think, an embank. I can't think, y'all. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning, but she goes down the edge of this hill, and she's stuck. And I guess with the impact, she broke her ankle, and so she's stuck in this car. Her phone, I it was an older car, so she wasn't able to charge her phone. So out of all of this, it's this gentleman that comes. She blacks out. She comes to and sees like this big burly man that is just like, I'm coming to take you out of here. You've been in an accident. Just want to make sure you're okay. He picks her up, scoops her like a lumberjack type man, built man, and takes her out of the car. And she's just like, no, 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 I'm fine. I'm fine. Can you take me to the hospital? And he was like, ma'am, I don't know if you noticed, but it's a snowstorm. I want to take you back to my house. Tegan starts to freak out. Who wouldn't? Like a man, like going back to his house, you don't know who he is. I get it. And so she couldn't walk. She couldn't put pressure on the leg. So he takes her back. He's married. His name is Hank, and he's married to this woman named Polly. And so it's just them two in this cabin, rural cabin. And, in a sense, they're just like, you should stay here for the night just so you can get yourself together. Tegan is scared of Hank because he's like this big man. He looks intimidating. He looks mean. And Polly just seems like this really nice lady. She says that she's a nurse, all this good jazz. And so, long story short, sets up shop in a hospital bed. Her mom, Polly's mom, Polly was taking care of her mom who was sick. Her mom passed away. So, in the basement, there's this hospital bed that she puts Tegan in, and she's like, I get that it may not be ideal, but I want you to be as comfortable as you can. We're going to be stuck here in this snowstorm. Roads are gone, power phone lines are down. We just have to make the best of everything. So throughout the duration of the book, Tegan is in this basement in a hospital bed, and Polly is trying to nurse her to health. And so I'm not going to give the whole story away, but there were Hank and Polly have been together for some years. I want to say 10, 15 years. They've been trying to have a baby, but they had not been able to. They had been experiencing complications in trying to conceive. And so if you get where this is going, this is kind of, you're kind of right. Polly makes it up in her mind that she is going to take care of Tegan, and they're going to try to take her baby. That's Polly. Hank, on the other hand, is just like, we need to get her help. Like, Polly, what are you doing? How is she? Are you feeding her? Like, what are you doing? Polly is on the hush and hush. She doesn't tell Hank what's going on or what she's thinking. She's just like, okay, if we become a family, we'll be happy, woo, woo, woo. And so, the story goes on, and I mean, it goes on. It seems like it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks, but this is like in actuality over the course of a few days. And it's a few days too long, if you ask me. So, this is one of those stories where it definitely had you stressed, but like the end wasn't as, excuse me, it wasn't as potent, I guess you could say, as a teacher. Like, I'm still I'm still on the high from The Teacher. You understand? Like, for those who have read The Teacher, I get it because a lot of people are just like, "Ugh, The Teacher," and "Ugh, this what happened," and "Ugh, why?" Listen, that book blew me out the water. Out of all of the Freida McFadden books that I've read, The Teacher is probably still my favorite one, outside of the Housemaid series. The second in the Housemaid series is my favorite Freida book. Millie did that, but in all things, The Crash was a good book. I loved it. I'm ready for the next one. And the next one just so happened to be The Tenant, and that's what's coming up next. So, this is Felicia with The Book is Done. Let me know if you've read The Crash, and what your thoughts were about it. I'd love to hear back from you. This is Felicia with The Book is Done, and I'm out.